This video, we're going to take a look at a really cool little knife from Schrade, the SCHF61. Coming up on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me. So today, like I said, we got a cool little knife from Schrade. I say little knife, it's kind of like a medium-sized knife. It's the SCHF61. The folks at Schrade were kind enough to send me this so I could show it to you. Actually, there's a couple things I really like about this knife. So let's take a look at the close-ups and the details, talk about the specs a little bit, and we'll get to doing some of that nice stuff. Okay, once again, this is the SCHF61 from Schrade. This knife features a 4.1-inch blade of HCR13 MOV high carbon stainless steel, a micarta handle, an overall length of 8.7 inches, a weight of 6.9 ounces, has a lanyard hole, and features an ambidextrous ballistic nylon sheath. Okay, so that's some of the specs and details of this SCHF61 from Schrade. Give you my initial thoughts before we get to doing some of the nice stuff. First of all, it's a very feels very comfortable in my hands. I like it. It's got that little finger groove there. Jimping, but it's very subdued. It's not like crazy sharp jimping. I think Schrade is finally listening about the jimping. It's not really a recurve. It's got a little bit of a sharpening choil there, a little bit of a swedge here, and the spine feels kind of sharp. We'll see how that goes. I like this. I like the way the Schrade does their micarta. I just kind of think that looks cool. Got the exposed tang lanyard hole. Another thing that finally I like is the fact that on a lot it's just got their standard nylon sheath with a plastic insert, but unlike some of the other ones, this insert is straight across. It's not angled one way or another to match the handle contour, so it goes in equally well either way, this way or this way. So finally, if you're right or left-handed, the sheath will work just fine for you. It has a little pocket on front of it that is expandable. It does not come with ferro rod or anything in this one, but it does have that pocket there if you can put stuff in. And a little leg tie, and just a standard Velcro belt sheath. Nothing fancy about it. It does have a snap here, which I like, because you know Velcro kind of gets gunked up, especially when it's out here in the open where it's grabbing on stuff. So anyway, that is the my initial stuff about the sheath and all that. I'll tell you, the knife feels pretty good. Let's see how well it does some nice stuff. Okay, so I'm out here at Boy Scout camp, and I've got I got a couple different kinds of wood here. I got some pine here, which is pretty solid. Thought we'd try to just maybe baton through that. So it's like barely a 4-inch blade. It's not going to be something you're going to baton big logs with, but you might need to get into a center of something small to make some firewood. So let's just see what happens. And I'm going to put a backing underneath it just to give it, take some of the stress away so it doesn't sink into the ground and it does a little better job. We'll just go all the way through. There we go. Not too bad. Again, this is pine. It's not oak, but it's what I got right here. So split this out a little bit now. Let's see what we can do. All right, and it feels like almost like barely a hollow grind. It's not a really big concave feel to it, but it does feel a little bit like a hollow grind. So we can split that out and get some dry wood out of the middle. But my experience feathering pine has never been really good. So we'll see what we can do with it. But for the most part, it's not going to be my wood of choice to try to make feathers starting with. It doesn't curl very well. So let's see what we got here with this piece of what I believe is possibly spruce. So this is smaller wood. It's very dry. Snaps it off the bottom of a standing tree. See if we can get some curls going here on this nice dry whatever it is. Okay, to be honest with you, I'm not really digging the grind on this knife. I don't really know why. It feels like a hollow grind, but not severely. But I'm not able to. It's just not doing the feather thing for me as much as I would like. Let's go to part B of the test and see if, even though I'm not thrilled with it, it'll get the job done. So, at least with the, not thrilled with the feathers it's making. Let's just try this. All right, well, it did an excellent job striking a ferro rod, by the way. Very good. And even though I wasn't thrilled with the featherability of it, part of that could be my technique. It actually got the job done, so, you know, results are results, right? Okay, we'll put all this out because it's nice and wet here anyway, but I'll make sure it's good now. I promise, because I'm a Boy Scout. Okay, so that's some of the knife stuff with the Schrade SCHF61. You know, even though I have to say I wasn't, for whatever reason, I just wasn't feeling the feathers with it. It got the job done. The edge seems pretty good. It's got that smooth titanium coating, which I kind of like. I could probably do without the white painted Schrade on there, but that's me. You can see that there on my hand, the corner of that. Under heavy use, I can just squeeze it and I can tell that's a hot spot happening right there. It's a cool looking knife. It's a very useful feeling knife. It feels great in your hand, even though, you know, you got the hot spot there, but altogether it just kind of feels, to me, it feels good when you let's just say it like this, because I'm rambling again. When you pick this knife up, you put it in your hand, your initial, at least my initial reaction is, hey, this feels pretty good. Sometimes some knives feel that way, some knives don't. It's just got a very nice balanced feel to it, which is the next step in the process, by the way. Let's just, without a bunch of rambling, let's just check the balance, okay? Okay, that's enough. That was a quick look at the SCHF61 from the folks at Schrade. So let's talk about what I like and what I'm not so fond of about this knife. First of all, I like the steel. I think Schrade does a good job with HCR13 MOV steel. They're pretty good on the heat treat. They hold an edge pretty good, and it's a decent stainless steel. It really is, in my opinion. It's a little bit of a hollow grind. I'm not a big fan of hollow grinds, but I know they do that a lot. And, you know, I wasn't feeling the feathers on this one. Some of their other ones, I feel them fine. So go figure. Maybe I'm having a bad day on the feathers. But I like the fact that it has a very, even though it doesn't feel super sharp, the 90-degree spine does a great job striking a ferro rod. I like the micarta handles. I think they look good, and I think they're also pretty comfortable. Give you enough grip to where you can really get a hold of it. And also, finally, even though I'm right-handed, it doesn't bother me. I'm glad to see, for a lot of you folks out there, that they made a truly ambidextrous sheath. And just to show you, I'll put it in there again, left-handed, and works just fine. The biggest negative for me is for me at least, in my standard grip, this little exposed tang right here. If I back up on it, it's gonna really create a big hot spot there, and that's basically just depending on how you use a knife. Or if you wear gloves. And if you wear gloves, it's probably not going to hurt you. But the other thing I do like about it is it's very well balanced. So anyway, it's a pretty cool knife. I think the SCHF61, if you look for a nice little mid-sized knife, it just honestly does feels good, man. You know, so I hope this has been helpful. Thanks again to the folks at Schrade for sending me this so I can show it to you. And thank you, as always, for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing, for clicking that thumbs up. And thank you so much for doing all your Amazon shopping through the Survival on Purpose links. I sincerely, really, truly appreciate the support. I do. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. See you next time. They got this one inked in on us, don't they? Before so yeah, it's hurting my hand. A lot of deer poop up here.